Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. Now that the dust has settled after the transfer window, we're starting to get more details about transfers that didn't happen, transfers that were on the verge of happening and collapsed, and how Man United were pursuing several different midfielders before they decided not to go for anybody and just simply stick with the players that they've got. But in today's show, we're going to be taking a look at those midfielders that Man United were very close at signing. Also in today's show, we're going to be discussing Harry Maguire and Casemiro leaving. What is all this about? We're going to be discussing that and lots more in today's show. As always, please go ahead and hit that like button on this video. And if you're not a subscriber to the Man United stream channel, or it's the first time you've come across us, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep on top of all the Manchester United news and more. Also, want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that's been subscribing and supporting the channel. Thank you very much. It's astonishing how fast we've grown. But look, it's all down to everybody who's watching us, subscribing, commenting, and becoming part of this Man United community. So thank you very much. Okay, so let's kick off today's show with rumours and reports of how Man United were pursuing several different midfielders before the end of the transfer window. And one of those names that sticks out is Antonio Semenyo. He is, of course, the midfielder from Bournemouth and is highly rated, very good at what he does. And United were very close, apparently, to signing him. In fact, we've heard in reports now, you have to take these with a pinch of salt. We don't know whether these are accurate or not, but United were very close on signing Semenyo. They had agreed personal terms. Ruben Amorim, in fact, has been reported to have already met with him, sat with him, had a meal with him in London, and then discussed everything and his project at United and convinced the player to join Man United. Now, at the very last minute, we hear that Bournemouth stepped in and convinced Semenyo to stay at Bournemouth and advised him that United were actually underpaying him compared to the other stars signed in the summer transfer window, like Buemo and like Kuna. They were saying, look, you're getting paid way less than what they are going to get paid. Now, you have to take this with a huge pinch of salt because we're not number one sure whether United actually got this far in negotiations with Semenyo and whether they were going to offer him 70% less than what Kuna and Mbeumo were on. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That would be making him like about, what, 30-40k a week? That clearly not. I mean, that is not something what they'd be offering players. So, look, you have to take that with a huge pinch of salt. We believe that there were discussions. We believe that Man United were interested in signing him. We believe from our sources that United had made their initial inquiries about Semenyo from Bournemouth, and yes, they would have liked signing a midfielder this summer transfer window, but it didn't happen. However, we don't believe it was because Bournemouth convinced him that he was going to be underpaid at United. That's not the case. I think there's lots of other intrinsic details that happened in between the negotiations with Man United and Bournemouth, and then of course Bournemouth must have said, look, stay at the club, you're going to get more game time here, you will be progressing a lot better than you will at United, where they've got lots of midfielders and they're only playing in one Premier League competition and you might not get a lot of game time. That was probably what they said to him, and he's probably thought, right, okay, yeah, maybe I won't get a lot of game time. Who will I be fighting against? Against Casemiro, I'll be up against Ugarte, Mainoo's not even getting any game time, and then they've got Bruno Fernandes in that centre midfield position as well. So look, on that front, of course, anyone who's looking to join United will be thinking, I'm not going to get any game time. So what is the point? What's the point of going there? That's, I think, his reason for not moving. And then we've had other links as well with other midfielders. But again, United didn't push forward on them deals because they didn't feel confident enough that their player will come in and break into the first team. That's why they wanted Baleba. That's why they wanted Baleba, because Baleba would have been the answer. Baleba would have definitely played week in, week out, and then maybe they might have even sold Kobbie Mainoo. That's probably why they were entertaining offers. Remember when we first heard that United were willing to accept something in the region of 45-50 million for Kobbie Mainoo? I mean, you would have thought, why? Why would they do that? But I think they would have probably been entertaining offers and looking and sounding out offers and suitors to buy Kobbie Mainoo if they bought in Carlos Baleba. If they spent over 100 million on Carlos Baleba, they would have to make sales, and Kobbie Kobbie Mainoo would have been the ideal person to sell because he would have balanced the PSR. He's a homegrown talent and he would have been 100% profit, and I think that's what United were probably considering. Even though we as fans do not want to see Kobbie Mainoo leave, the board and the people who are looking at the figures, looking at balancing the PSR, they're probably looking at just figures thinking, well, Kobbie Mainoo's not playing in this team, so let's get rid of him, let's make 100% profit, and that enables us to go and buy someone like Carlos Baleba. So that's probably their thinking behind it. But anyway, coming back to the Casemiro deal, yes, he's a great player. Yes, he would have been an ideal player to bring in if we didn't get Carlos Baleba, and he would have been a good second choice. However, it didn't happen, and we can't cry over spilt milk. Like always, once the transfer window closes and then the dust settles, you start getting a lot more details about deals that would have happened, negotiations that took place and fell through, and details like that slowly start making their way out into the public domain. And that's why we're hearing about the Casemiro negotiations, and we didn't hear them when the transfer window was open. Now let's move on to news about Harry Maguire. Yes, we have heard that Harry Maguire is going to play his last season at United. This is his last season, his final goodbye, his last dance, whatever you want to call it, and he is going to make his way off to the Saudi League as an op. We've started actually hearing reports and reading reports about how Harry Maguire has been receiving offers from the Saudi League this summer, and he's knocked them back, saying he wants to stay at United, still wants to fight for his position and wants to see out his contract. I think, look, Harry Maguire, whatever you think of him, he's had a decent few seasons under Ruben Amorim, and I think he's done really well since Ruben Amorim's arrived, and I genuinely am hoping that he can see out his contract, do well this season, get some game time. He's an ideal, substitution. He's great to bring on when you've got an injury or you need someone resting. He's perfect. He comes in, gives it his all, and he's actually turned his career around, and I just look, genuinely, I've got to credit the guy. Look, the amount of pressure, the amount of criticism he was under when he was going through his bad patch. But he stuck with it, he carried on, and he fought through it, and his demeanour, his confidence has come back, and I like that in the player. I genuinely do. I think, look, hats off to him. The guy has stuck with it, and he's done well, and I hope he does leave at end of the season, goes off somewhere else. We can obviously see that we've got young centre-backs now coming through in the likes of Lenny Yoro, we've got Haven, and we've got De Ligt, and they will be the next in line to take over. So it's perfect timing for Harry Maguire to leave Man United and go elsewhere, and United have got reinforcements. United have got the young talent coming through as well. So I'm very happy with the news that Harry Maguire will be leaving at end of the season, and so will Casemiro. We know that he's end of his contract as well. United will not be extending it. They've already extended it for 1 year, and that's it. Casemiro will also be off to the Saudi League, and United will be looking to reinforce that midfield by going out there, buying someone like Baleba or another midfielder like Wharton to come in and take over from Casemiro in that central midfield position. Ugarte, there was some hope that he would end up being the replacement for Casemiro, but right now Ugarte is simply not good enough to hold down that position and keep that position to himself. He is not a player that United probably have in the long-term plans, and I think that's why if another midfielder does come in, or another one or two come in the summer transfer window, next summer transfer window, or in the January transfer window, you can see Ugarte actually being sold. Drop your comments below on what you think about all of today's news. What do you think about the Casemiro deal? Do you think he would have been a great player if United signed him? I think it would have been an absolute brilliant signing for United to do after they fell through with the Carlos Baleba deal. After that wasn't going ahead, this guy would have been a good second choice, and he would have done a great job at United. Drop your comments below on what you think he would have been like at United, and also what do you think about Casemiro and Harry Maguire leaving at the end of the season? Do you think it's the right time for them to leave, or do you think United should be looking at extending their contracts? Drop your comments below, let us know what you think. Make sure you hit the like button on this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You were watching the Man United Stream channel, a channel by the fans for the fans.